They lived in peace and affluence, quite different from the secessionist black race in Africa. And in regard to arms, what sorts of weapons did they have? It was quite simple, and as simplicity is often superior to complexity, it worked wonderfully well. Both races brought with them what we could call laser weapons. These weapons were under the control of a special group which, in turn, was under the direction of the leaders of each country. By common accord, each race had exchanged 100 observers whose presence was permanent in each foreign country. These observers were ambassadors and diplomats for their own countries, at the same time ensuring that an arms excess did not occur. This system worked perfectly, and peace was maintained for 3,550 years. The blacks who emigrated to Africa, however, had not been allowed to take these weapons with them, being, as they were, a secessionist group. Little by little they spread further, settling the area that is now the Sahara Desert. In those times, it was a rich land with a temperate climate, providing a well-vegetated habitat for many animals. The priests had temples constructed, and, to satisfy their desire for wealth and power, they taxed the people heavily. Among a people who had never before known poverty, there now formed two distinct classes, the very rich and the very poor. The priests, of course, belonged to the former, as did those who helped them to exploit the poor. Religion became idolatry, and the people worshipped stone or wooden gods, offering sacrifices to them. It was not long before the priests insisted that the sacrifices must be human. From the beginning of the secession, the priests took pains to ensure that the people were kept in ignorance to the greatest extent possible. By lowering their intellectual and physical level of development over the course of years, the priests were better able to maintain domination over them. The religion which had developed had absolutely nothing in common with the cult that had originally inspired the secession, so control of the masses was essential. Universal law decrees that man's principal obligation, regardless of which planet he happens to inhabit, is to develop his spirituality. These priests, by degrading an entire nation through keeping them in ignorance and leading them with lies, infringed this fundamental law. We decided at this point to intervene, but, before doing so, offered the priests a last chance. Using telepathy, as well as a dream, we contacted the great priest. Human sacrifices must cease, and these people must be led back to the right path. Man exists physically for the sole purpose of developing spiritually. What you are doing contravenes universal law.